Hey guys, welcome back to Humor and Healing. Everybody, of course, waiting for me to check in my flight. Of
Right.
course. To everybody that's suffered any loss through the fires, we're very sorry. I know a lot of people are being displaced. A lot of people are leaving their areas and living with loved ones.
Yeah.
It's really tough. I'm sorry, I'm not getting sad. It's my throat is dry.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
I
So
mean, a
just
little bit
sending a lot
sad.
of peace and love out there, and all the good
Yeah, no.
vibes.
Yeah, that I'm sad. I'm sad in that aspect.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
people that are staying out here with loved ones, there's a lot to think about. And sometimes you need a distraction. So the Ontario Improv was nice enough to open up their doors that Tuesday night and say, Richard, come and just we'll pay you to entertain them. And so people that are displaced, people that are living with loved ones that were asked to evacuate, if you are out in the IE, you want to just relax. And let me ask you a question. Do you think that really works? That for those 2 hours, even though you've lost everything, your house is burned down, do you think it's useful or helpful for them to go out and laugh for 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah, for some people, it could definitely help them just get in a better state of mind because you're in shock or you're just stuck thinking all these negative thoughts or worries. I mean, it goes a long way to get yourself distracted for a couple hours,
Right.
you know?
But is it healthy? Is it good for them to go, listen, all you've done for the last 4 days is worry about your house and now it's burned down and now you're worried about you putting your life back together. Is it helpful? Is this something that you would recommend to somebody like, hey, listen, you've been worrying for 4 days, just go out? Or is it just let them cope with it, let them deal with it? I don't think they should be going out or anything like that.
No, I mean, everyone copes differently, man. I mean, some people, it takes them a day to get over something really traumatic and then they just start living life.
Yeah.
But for the people that feel like they need that reprieve from being by themselves or left to their thoughts, like, yeah, some people, it can help them out a lot.
I just think it's a healthier alternative than getting drunk or high.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
everybody wants an escape. I
I
said, if
mean, you can do that at the show too.
oh yeah, you can do that at the show. My bad. All right, never mind. Well, hey, welcome. We'll see you at the show.
Ay, te digo.
All right, let's get the show started. What's
Ajá.
going on? What's going on? Tell us.
It's going on. I want to bring up one of the first videos. It's really interesting to me. Just it's her tone of voice and her demeanor. Let's take a look.
All right.
Hi, this message is for Mark, my husband, and or his mistress. I know you guys still watch my TikTok, so if that's not you, you can keep scrolling. You don't have to listen to this. Hey, husband, if you could help our 6 children, they need new winter coats and boots for this upcoming winter. If you wanted to help me with that, that would be wonderful. Also, our 10-year-old still needs his braces to help with his speech problem. If you could help me with that, that would be wonderful. My attorney will have their sizes. I know you don't know that. So even if you wanted to buy them their coats and boots, that would be so wonderful of you. I've been working hard to keep the lights on and food in the house for them since you left me with nothing for the Christian marriage counselor you met on here. When you open your Bible, God does not look too kindly on men that do not provide for their household or their children. So I hope you have a change of heart. I was only 13 when we met, and you got me pregnant at 14 and continued to get me pregnant, telling me I didn't have a choice to say no or prevent pregnancy or God would punish me. So I didn't really have an option to have these children that you had with me. If you could help me with that, that would be so wonderful and kind of you. I know you're busy preaching here on TikTok, but our children really could use the help. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are having the days that you deserve, and God bless you.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, Mr. Expert. Now, explain what's going on here.
Do you want me to explain a little
Yeah, a
bit?
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can give me context. I
Okay,
mean, I
so
have my thoughts on
so
it.
see, there's a mother sending a message to her. It looks like it's gonna be soon to be ex. I don't
Yeah.
think they're fully divorced yet. She just got an attorney. She's being so kind on this message, sending him like just pleading, can you just help me out with the kids? And they're gonna need some boots and some winter coats. Since you left with the marriage counselor or the Christian counselor. Since you're a pastor,
These marriage counselors out there.
and these counselors out
You
there.
gotta watch out for us.
Yeah, so
Therapists and counselors don't get along,
there's
by
a
the
lot
way.
on that. There's a
This
lot.
is certified. This is certified.
This is certified. That's right. That guy's probably not licensed.
That's a counselor. That's
that's
not
right.
a
He's not the
therapist.
same thing.
I could be a counselor.
There's a lot to unpack here with her. Poor thing. I mean, it sounds she married. It sounds like she got with this guy young, 13, had her first baby at 14, and she has 6 kids with him now.
Yep.
And now he's gone with this counselor, and he's a preacher. And then if you look at the comments, people are tagging him, and
Yeah.
they're like exposing who the guy is, and you're like, ooh, drama. There's a lot though. She looks really young still.
She does. The one thing that stuck out to me is how passive aggressive she was that
Love it.
entire
I love
video.
that. I love that about her. She's so calm.
Hi, if you could. You know what? I think she talked to the lawyer.
And she turns in and I like how she threw
Yeah.
that my attorney will contact. I love that. And like, girl, it's just like chingaqueritos in Spanish.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just
The entire
quietly
time, man.
just tapping in.
I am scared. Like, I look at a woman like that, and I'm already frightened. I'm like, the thing that's coming, that's the calm before the storm. Tell me, how damaged is she? If she's at this point in her life, how bad is it?
Dude, that anger is just so bad that it's just like it's she's almost numb. She's just like whatever. Like, dude, hell's gonna come.
Scarier?
Oh, it's scarier because if you're yelling at me, I don't know. Like, it's easier to kind of take because I know you're angry, but that's when you're just past anger and you're just like, I'm gonna make sure I ruin your life. Like, that's my mission in life right now.
I love her.
I can see that.
You know?
I love her because it sounds like he deserves it. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy's crazy, man. I mean, it's interesting. I'm working with a person who they were raised in a cult. It was a Christian cult, but a cult. And just like how messed up, like it's really similar to her story without the kids, but just like the whole messed up, people sleeping with counselors. It's insane, dude. Like these stories you hear.
Yeah. I've heard of some of those with the S-ology.
Yeah.
Church a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the full name.
Yeah, we don't want to get.
No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There you go.
Allegedly.
But also, there's another side to this story. See, I always play devil's advocate because I can see her craziness, and even though she was a victim at 13, and I'm pretty sure she was the victim. I'm pretty sure he's the victimizer.
Yep.
So much abuse that goes on in her life that she grows up being that disturbed.
Yeah.
Like she is a nutcase. So do you blame her for being a nutcase? And can he even take her anymore? It's like, she's crazy. She's just, you made her that way. You understand? Like, she was a baby when you met her. And I'm pretty sure you put her through the ringer and you use God over her head and punish her, and then you got to be a good wife.
Worst.
I'm pretty sure that played along in it, but I'm pretty sure she also, from all of that, just becomes a nutcase.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So he probably also wanted out of the relationship. I guarantee you, if you ask him, his version of it is completely different. And he'll have a million reasons why he got divorced.
Of course. Well, everyone's the hero of their story, right?
Absolutely.
Every time.
Everybody's going to be a hero of their story.
That's the number one thing I hear every time I work with couples, and I separate them sometimes, and I hear the story from their side, and you're just like, man, your husband or your wife sounds like they suck. And then you talk to the husband, you're like, oh, I don't know, you kind of suck, like, but you suck too.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm like, oh, everyone just sucks. Like, that's really the answer.
Yeah. Everybody has their own version of the truth. And then there's the truth. Does that make sense?
Not when it comes to us, though.
Absolutely.
Always right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's always right.
Always right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, but that's a lot of trauma, though. I mean, she looks really young. I mean, she said I mean, I don't know how old her kids are. But
13 to 14, she had her first kid or something.
yeah, and then she has 6 in
They're
total.
young. Yeah, it sounds like they're
yeah.
young because
You know, and so like she's got spiritual and religious abuse. I don't know of any other type of abuse. Like, yeah, she has a lot to deal with, and so like that sort of passive aggressive and like I'm gonna ruin your life energy. I'm like not surprised by that.
The only thing that bothers me is your kids are going to grow up and they're going to see this.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Like, that's scarring enough. Really, like they're already being raised in a really messed up situation. Now you're going to promote it to the world. No wonder kids are so depressed nowadays. Mom won't get off the
that's
TikTok.
the thing, right? Now
Mom won't get off the
exposed.
TikTok. Look at what happened with Treviño. Treviño, the girl, the lady in Treviño, you know her case, right?
Yep.
Like, dude, this lady's all over
Yeah, a little bit
TikTok
too much.
making 40,000 a month.
Who is this lady? So we'll let the
I
audience
don't know all
who
her
they are.
story. I haven't gotten into, but do you know the details of this lady? Trevino?
Well, I wish Gabby was here because she definitely knows all of it. But is that the woman on TikTok who?
Is that
Yeah,
Ashley
had the
Goody?
kids, and then they
Yeah.
called the child protective services on her because
Oh.
she was going out and partying and leaving the kids behind to take care of
Oh, yeah, yeah,
themselves,
yeah.
and
Yep.
people started criticizing her.
Girl.
But it's people that are funding this thing. You
Yeah.
follow her, you look at her
Yeah.
videos, you're funding this thing. She's making 40,000 a month.
Of course she's gonna now share everything, but that's sad because the kids are now all over it.
No, this is your mom. Like the most
Right.
sacred thing in your life is your mother. And this is what we do with her. Like this is your mother acting trashy on TikTok and Instagram. What future do they ever have? Like these kids are gonna grow up traumatized knowing, oh shoot.
That's my mom.
Is that your mom, bro? Oh man, and that creates a what do you call it? A distance between them because now the kid goes, I don't want to, mom. I don't want them to know who you are.
Right.
And now the relationship is over. The kid says, I don't want to be part of this toxic thing that you have going on TikTok. So I don't want to be a part of it, mom. I'm out. That's it. And so now you lose the relationship, and the mom is willing to lose her kids. She's like, yeah, forget it. It's okay. I'd rather have TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, some people are so starved for attention, like they'll do whatever, man. I mean, I saw a video of a sister with her little brother, and the little brother's like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14. And apparently this girl, she's 19, and she had an OnlyFans. And I guess she did the stupid thing of doing a video of asking him, like, oh, what do you think of the fact that I have an OnlyFans? And this kid just did not hold back. He's like, you ruined my life. Like, everyone knows you're my sister. He's like, why would I be proud that my older sister has an OnlyFans and is showing her body online?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The damage that people are doing to their family members. That, I mean, for me as a comic, there's things that I hold back just because I know, nah, not my daughter. Like if my daughter sees this, I can see this really being something that she's
Yeah,
not
or it
gonna
comes
be.
back to you in the future.
Absolutely. And I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, whatever you put out there comes back.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
10 times full. So I'm like, dude, it's crazy. It's funny because I joke about it. But I said I live in an era where if somebody says, I have pictures of your wife's boobs, I go, no, you don't. But if you married after 2010 and somebody said, hey, you have pictures of your wife, you probably do.
There's a good chance.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we got married before the whole boom of photos on phones and all that stuff. It's funny. I said that comment and Rocio just stays quiet. Like,
Well, because I'm
Yeah.
going to bring that back in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Why?
going to bring that back in a little bit.
Put a pin on it.
Put a pin on that one. Let's go to the second video.
Okay.
This one is from Dennis R. Bertrand.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure. Let's see. We can take
There
a
you
look
go.
at it.
Yeah.
If you have to ask somebody to do things like they're a fucking child, they're not a partner. That's just what it is. I shouldn't have to ask you to pick up your clothes. I shouldn't have to ask you to help care for your kids. Sorry, the word help again. I shouldn't have to ask you to prepare meals. I shouldn't have to ask you to anticipate that laundry needs to be done, or that grocery shopping needs to be done, or that something needs to be done around the house, or you need to take the pets to the vets. Whatever. You should know you need to do these things. It's what it means to be an adult and to be self-sufficient.
Okay. No. And
do you
you
mean
tell
no?
me no. Match
mean
their
no? Where's
energy.
Gabby?
No.
I need Gabby to fight Richard on
No,
this
I
one.
don't know. I don't care. I would say no. No. Her energy is her energy. My energy is my energy. As long as we're both contributing, don't expect me to be you, and you can't. I can't expect you to be me. Do you understand? We both have a role to play. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm calling it bullshit. Nope. We all have a role to play.
Is this a
That's
red
it. And as
flag,
long
Gabby?
as you respect each other's contributions, as long as you can acknowledge that they're both is fair. If something is not fair, then call it and say, I would want more help here. I want more, but that's your role and this is my role. If you can't handle those roles, then say where you need help. But ultimately, this is my role as a man. This is your role as a woman. That's it. And I respect what you do and admire what you do, and I'm grateful for what you do. And you should do the same with what I do. If you don't think it's fair, then we discuss it, we make adjustments. But at the end of the day, I still have my roles to play. You have your roles to play.
Okay. What do you think, Irvin?
Yeah, for me, I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I agree with what Richard said. Like, I like the idea of like a complementary relationship where everyone kind of has their role. I think the only place I'm a little bit different is like I just look at the practical side, like who's just better at what, and can we divvy up responsibilities that way? Like if Gabby is just so much better at like scheduling, I'd rather leave that to her, and I'll help however I can in that area, but I'll let her take the lead there. But if I happen to be better in other areas, like, taking the lead on finances or taking the lead on cooking or just something in the relationship, I don't mind taking a lead. I personally take the approach of what's the most practical thing, like who's actually good at what and who enjoys doing what. And then you just cross over, well, how can I help you in your area that you can lead? And just let me know how I can help. Gabby doesn't like to cook, so she'll literally help me out every once in a while by cooking something, or even easier, like, hey, can you cook this tonight? Perfect. I don't have to think about it. I'll make it. Or the other way, like if I ask her, hey, can you help me out with this thing for the scheduling? Like, I'm not quite sure how to do this or where to put it, and she just thinks of ideas. She's just better at it than I am.
Nice.
So I personally like somewhere in the middle, but I agree with them. Like everyone just has their role, and you're gonna naturally fit into it.
And you said something that you enjoy doing, something that you're good at, right? It's more practical. Perfect. I'm not very good at washing clothes or cleaning house. I'm not very detailed when it comes to things like that. Do you understand? So those are or making food. Those are all my weaknesses.
Yeah.
So and when I say it's just because we're not accustomed, we're raised to go, this is your father, this is your mother, this is what mom does. And I know things change. A woman contributes just as much as a man does, but there's other ways you can help. As a man, okay, well, you don't do that, but change the batteries on all the cameras, change the lights, clean the backyard, do this, do that. Help me with Oli, take her here, take her there, run these errands. Can you come get this for me? Perfect.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and I agree with the matching energy in this sense of like helping out your partner, like hey, how can I help you? Like I see you're struggling right now. Like, do you need any help with something? Like that goes a long way when you notice.
It does when you notice, but as men, we never notice because if you
Not all
tell
the
me
time.
it's clean,
No, yeah.
what are you cleaning? It's clean.
But I will say the person that's unhappy in the relationship where they feel like their spouse isn't helping them out that much. I have a lot of wives that I'm currently working with, like a new set of patients, who they came in and literally they're like, Irvin, I want to be nicer to my husband,
Really?
but I'm so frustrated with them. I'm like, why? Like, because they don't help out. Like, I'm so frustrated because I feel like I'm taking care of everything.
But this is different. See, the guy
That's
that
different,
he described is he comes home from work, he puts in 8 hours, and then he sits on the couch and plays video games all day.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Does nothing, does not help with anything, does not play with the kids, does not go to school functions, does not do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That I can see why a wife will come in and go, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That, yes, he's absolutely right. Your husband should help you out. Your husband should contribute. Your husband should spend time with the kids. He should do all of these things. He's right. Absolutely right. But it's not 50-50 in my eyes. And I think I go back and I agree with him. Practicality. Why do something that you're going to be horrible at? You're not going to be happy with the results. I'm not going to be happy doing them because I hate doing it.
Yeah,
There
I
you go. Now we're eating shitty food.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Nobody's happy here. Nobody's happy if I make dinner.
I agree. But I have learned too, like, to ask you
Yes.
when, like, I want something done. When I feel like I can't do it anymore, because I do want it done a certain way. I want it done my way. And even if you do it your way, I'm like, no, it's not right. Do it again. You know what I mean? But if I'm so busy, I'll ask him, like, can you just do this? Because
And I don't say no.
I want something, like, to be done right then and there.
Yeah. And some of those wives I was telling you about, one of the things that they get frustrated is they feel like they're doing like a million things in the morning or throughout the day, and then they see their husband, like, they do a couple things like work or do this or do that, and then they just sit down and they're just like, I did my job for the day, and they can clearly see their wife like struggling with like all these things. And so usually what I tell wives in this case is like, you need to express that to your husband, but specifically give them, like in the case of the one I'm thinking about, I told her, are there 3 things your husband can just take off your plate that is like not this crazy thing, but it would help a lot? Like, what would go a long way? And I think she said if he cleaned up the cat poop in the morning, if he set the coffee and he got like the lunches ready for the teenagers, she's like, that's easy stuff, but it's just adding to my plate. If he took care of those 3 things, now I only have to worry about 3 things myself instead of 6. And she's like, and I would appreciate it because I'm over here doing 6 things. You know, I'm frustrated. And I see him over there just chilling on his phone waiting to go to work. And obviously, you know, you would get frustrated, right? And so she did. And I said, if you're going to ask someone to start doing something like a chore, helping around the house, try to have them start doing that around a routine, something they do every day.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, in his case, by the time he gets up to get ready for work, she's also taking the kids. So he has 2 hours that are free before he goes to work. And so I said, perfect. That's his routine. He gets up, he takes a shower, he gets ready. He has like an hour and a half of time to help you out. And so ever since she talked to her husband, it's been, I think, a month and a half already. And he's been very consistent in keeping that new routine that they set up. And the one thing I told the wife to do is, hey, I know it's stupid, or I know, of course, duh, like help me out. Tell him you're appreciative. Tell him thank you. I know it's stupid. I know he should know better. He's your husband, but just thank him for and have gratitude. And she started doing that. And she said her husband, after about a month, he started doing extra things that weren't being asked of him, because in his head, he's like, I'm doing a good job. She appreciates me. I want more appreciation from you. Because his love language is words of affirmation, like compliments. So like that was motivation, like, oh, like you like it when I do things for you. Okay, let me do more things for you then. And so he started doing that.
So interesting.
So now, the bad part of this is if you tell him to do something and then you come back and you criticize what he just did.
Yeah.
That is when he's going to go, then you do it.
Yeah.
Then you do it.
Been there.
Yes. Then you do it. Do not criticize.
Yeah.
Once he
Been there,
did
done
it,
Yeah.
let it happen. You finish however you want to finish, or you do whatever you want to do to fix it. After he's done, do not criticize him. Thank him for the work he did. Tomorrow, you will retrain and explain to him again. Listen, babe, everything was good. And this time, make sure we hit the corners and we do this. But you did a great job yesterday. Okay, great. I don't feel like shit anymore. You know what I mean? But don't ask him to do something. He does it to the best of his ability. And then you go, oh, my God, look at all this, man. You didn't even do this. You didn't even do that. Did you even move stuff?
Hold on, but why do guys always have to have a pat on the back? We don't get that as women.
Yeah.
Richard does give me a thank you when I feed, and like, he always gives me a kiss and says thank you.
Yes.
But I don't get thank yous for like washing clothes or like, you know, and I don't expect one. I don't
Yeah,
need
of
one,
course.
right? And
Yeah,
like,
when I pay the mortgage, when I take
I
Oli to school, when I do all
knew
that.
it. I knew
Okay, that's just things that we do because
but why do we have to say it to you? Like, why do we have to verbally say good job?
if you want change, if you want to adapt a new change, this is how you reward and train the dog to make the treats.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You want to train him, then give him a reward.
So
Yeah.
you're literally saying you're
We're
like-
animals.
like an animal.
Our instincts are animalistic. We work that way. We're like the dog.
I mean, I've seen it happen. It's true.
It's true. So do you understand? Like it's okay. You're asking me how do I fix him? I tell him okay, give him a treat. But why do I have to give him a treat? Just pa que quieres? I'm telling you how to fix
Richard,
him.
he wants enchiladas and he wants he wants the big stuff. I'm like, okay.
No, Richard read my mind. That's exactly what. It's actually what I told this particular wife too. Like I know, like I get it. Like, duh, he should be doing that. But like I know it's a silly example, but I've never heard someone say, "Hey, you know, I started going to church and I believe in God now." You know, because someone criticized me into it.
Right.
Like, I can't tell you how much that changed my mind. They said I was going to hell and I'm a terrible person. Like, wow, that changed my heart. Like, no one ever changes behavior really if they get criticized into it. But if you compliment people, if you encourage people, they're more likely to want to do the same behavior again. So I had a couple where the guy wasn't taking out the trash. And I told the wife, you know, everything I said earlier. And he did it, but it took him 3 days to do it. Took forever. And so, you know, in the past, she would have said something like, oh, did you get lost on the way there? Or took you long enough? Or, you know, some sort of like passive aggressive comment. And I told her, yes, he deserves it, but just think about it from his dumb position. He's probably going like, damn, I did something for you and then you criticize me for it?
Yeah.
That sucks. Like, that's the thanks I get? And I asked her, is that going to encourage him to do it again? And it's like, well, no. And you want change behavior, right? Yeah. So encourage him, and it doesn't take very much. But you asked a question like, why do guys need that? Guys do need that. Words of affirmation really often is really high up on the love languages for most guys. It's usually touch, like sex or intimacy or, touching, and words of affirmation. Like almost always those are like top 2 or top 3.
No, Richard likes it when I go, ay, qué bonito, quiero. Look at him. See?
I know.
But there's things that women need too. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They want to be listened to. Yes. They want
to just want to hug sometimes.
Acknowledged.
Never get me.
You know what I mean? What?
I said, we just want to hug.
See?
We don't need a lot. Sometimes, because you constantly trying to fix it. Constantly.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
I don't always need fixing. You know what I mean? We just want you to just sit there and listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even your dog licks your face. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, then there you go.
We'll give you a little.
He's trying to fix it.
A
little paw. Hey, don't cry.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
A little paw.
So cute.
All right.
On to fun things. Remember I told you to hold that thought?
Hold that thought.
Yes. We were talking about things.
Things. Yes.
There's this lawyer, Lauren the lawyer, and she brings a new law that's come into play. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Okay. Oh, yes. I've seen this.
Coming in at number 1. And ladies, this hurts my heart to deliver this news. It is now illegal to go through your husband's phone. And this is for every ear that can hear me. This is not just a Texas issue. This is also a federal crime.
Amen, sister.
The Federal Wiretap Act states it is unlawful to intercept any wire, oral, or electronic communication.
Yep.
It is also unlawful to disclose the contents of the wire, oral, or electronic communication. Y'all know what's considered electronic communication? Mm-hmm. Text messages, emails, DMs. I was in court waiting on my turn, watching another hearing before me. It was a divorce case and the wife was on the stand talking about adultery. Her attorney then started the process of admitting text messages into evidence that showed the husband was talking to this woman and it was very inappropriate. The text messages 100% proved husband was cheating. There was photos, there was conversations about the other night. All of a sudden, husband lawyer jumps up and says, Your Honor, I think you need to admonish the witness about her Fifth Amendment right to self-incrimination because she's about to tell on herself and admit to a crime. The judge then proceeds to tell her that how she came about getting those text messages out of her husband's phone is potentially a violation of the Texas Wiretap Act and the Federal Wiretap Act. He looks up at her lawyer and says, Counsel, the fact that you're in possession of unlawful potential wiretap material incriminates you as well. And the judge did a quick recess so everyone could go consult with criminal law attorneys.
I love it.
Ooh.
I love it.
No more DMs, you guys.
Damn.
I love it. Okay, that's it for that.
We can pause it there. So, no more checking on your husband's phones.
Yeah.
Trying to use his face while he's sleeping or unlock that phone. No more of that.
Yeah.
Because now you're incriminating yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And no more. So first we had the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make sure that you can't track your man's or your girl.
You can't, but I can see when you were tracking me.
Yeah, like what's up with that?
Hey, I need to know how toxic you are today.
Dude.
Now we can't be toxic to the max.
No, absolutely not.
You know what it's gonna do to women?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're gonna go to jail.
Yes, you're gonna go to jail.
We're gonna go to jail.
Mi hijo se va a ir a mommy. She's going to jail because she was nosy.
She was being a chismosa.
Yes. No, but I was talking with Rocio. It's also to protect innocent bystanders from you exposing what's going on or you exposing things that your husband or your loved one is doing, because that's like going through their mail. You were saying the same thing. It's a federal crime. Imagine if she went in there and, I saw you were cheating on her when you were discussing about selling your company. And this, like, why are you putting this out on the TikTok? Why are you telling the world that you went through my phone and you saw the message that I was selling the company and I was going to flee with my significant other? Mm-hmm. Now you told the world that we're selling the company. Mm-hmm. Now that it affects the company because they were going to sell to another partner, but you're opening up your big mouth. And you got that information from my phone. Can they prosecute? Absolutely. Now the company will then prosecute her and saying, we lost this deal because you opened your mouth on TikTok.
On social media.
You went through your husband's phone. before this law never existed, the judge would go, well, that's his wife. That's their phone. It's a private property. She can go through it. She didn't know anything about the deal. She didn't do it with malice. Now you can't even do it. You shouldn't be disclosing anything on his phone. So I think it's great.
It is good, actually. It is
it's
good.
good.
I never go through your phone. I don't need to. I just locate you.
Just but Russo, what is that about women that like they feel the need to look into their
Not women, you're a woman.
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, what is that? No,
Gabby was like, I don't care. I'm still going to go through his phone.
Yeah, she did say
I'll
that.
go to jail.
Say that. I'm going to jail.
no.
I don't know what it is. I personally, I'm naturally not jealous person.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I mean,
Do you
I
think
am
you're
a
not,
tóxica,
you're not
but
a
I'm
jealous person because I don't give you reasons to be jealous?
I think that's one of the reasons, and the other reason is my parents were not like that either with each other, and they taught me like. They even told me when I started dating Richard, like, you know, he's going to be around a lot of women and he's going to be like a public figure. You shouldn't be like worried about where he's at, and you shouldn't. And so I already knew, like, coming into the relationship, this isn't like, it's not a big deal to me.
Right.
A lot of people were like, oh no, he's a comedian.
Okay.
He's definitely, but for me, it's
Okay.
like, I don't get reasons.
Do you see that talk?
Mm-hmm.
The stigma is already attached to me automatically.
It's already attached.
So I need to be double transparent than
Right.
any other normal guy.
Yeah.
Like I understand in order for you to be okay, because everybody's always going to remind you, and you don't get jealous. He leaves every weekend.
But
and you
naturally,
don't
I
get
think
jealous?
women too are also more jealous than men. Like
Yeah.
women do tend to, and they want to know. But I always say, like my mom said, if you're going looking for something, you're gonna find something.
You'll create a storyline.
I don't
behind
even,
whatever
I don't
that
even
is.
go looking because I hear my mom like, you know, you're gonna find something, and it could be anything, and it's not usually something, but you're gonna create a story in your mind. And it's gonna be something, and then there's a fight, and then you get divorced, and then it goes downhill from there.
If people found out that you were getting divorced, right away people go, "What? Richard cheated."
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say yes.
Absolutely. They're
Yes.
gonna say you understand, and there could be a million reasons why we got divorced, but people automatically he must have cheated on her.
Yeah, he's a
They
comedian.
go to the conclusion he's a comedian. He must have met some girl on the road. He's
Yeah.
always has out
It
there.
can't be
group.
like Rocio just got tired of his crap. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Like him traveling. I mean, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Some people can't handle
No,
it.
no,
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it
exactly.
could be that, but people automatically go to that. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I have to be twice as transparent as any other person to make sure that when you go, no, because I have his codes and I can go do whatever I want. I can do this. I know where he's at. I know his location. I know this. He
But I
already told me.
don't.
Yeah, you do. What do you mean you don't? You don't know my location every
No, I
single.
know. No, I don't. But I don't really locate you unless like,
I know, but you have all that
of
information.
course, but I don't use it because it's there. I think I don't.
Yeah, maybe
it's like,
that's
you
why.
know, it's
'cause you
kind of like
it's-
having alcohol in your house, and it's like there every day, and you're kind of like,
Oh, maybe
I don't
you.
want to get it. Oh,
Probably
Richard's
drink
different.
it every day.
But you know, when you grow up around certain things and you just get used to those things, and then when you just kind of like, it's not important. It's not a big deal to me.
Well, I mean, is it that he's so transparent about things that you're just like, I
Definitely.
really don't like he doesn't seem shady,
Most
so
of the
you're
time.
like, I don't really. Well, most of the time, man. Most of the time.
No,
Um,
and I'm not a liar. Like that's not a trait. Like I'll tell her, oh yeah, this and this and this and that. Okay, cool. But I also have the confidence to tell her that because she understands. Look, if I tell her I went to a strip club, I went to a strip club. She knows nothing happened. She knows I'm not gonna do anything. If the guys go, let's go to a strip club. Fuck, I'm here with the guys. I don't like them. I don't
Yeah.
personally like to visit strip clubs. But if they're going and they're gonna go see the game, let's go watch the game, and then that's it. I can tell her I went to a strip club. There's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, he has
Nobody's
shows
gonna get
there
upset
too
or
sometimes.
anything. I'll probably call her from the strip club. I've done shows at strip clubs. I've done,
Oh, gotcha.
but that's it. You know you're not gonna do anything else. You just do the show and then you just come home. Come on, dude. No, and especially nowadays with social media, you get entangled in something like that. That person is gonna blab their mouth. They're gonna tell the world. I'm like,
Yeah,
not
it's
interested.
not as easy.
And I'm 46, and I'm like, it's different because when you're 46, you look at a woman, and you say, she's so beautiful. She must be a headache. Oh my God, I wouldn't want to
lot of
deal
work.
with her. Oh no, definitely not. Never mind, I'm out. Like
just a
you
lot of
talk,
work.
you talk yourself out of.
I think we do it too. The women, like, well, I mean, responsible women. I think we do it too, where we're like, oh, so that would be that would be a mess. Then I would have to move out, and like the kids are, oh my God, who's gonna take the kids to school? You know,
I don't got time for this. I got stuff to
making
do.
the lunch would be really hard. You know,
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm like, nah. And then I think I'm just gonna inherit another set of problems. Like the problem's not her.
But it does happen, like, especially way older men. They'll decide to break up after 20, 25 years, and you're like, what? Why now? You know? Like,
Yeah.
are they willing to go through all that trouble again? Yeah, your kids are grown. You don't have to deal with all that anymore.
Well, that's one of the things is maybe they were just sticking around for the kids,
Yeah.
and then they said, "I just can't take it anymore."
All right, I got like 8 more years.
Yeah, you got 8 more years, girl. Don't worry, we're good.
8 more years. No, well, I've talked to enough guys that have been married for like a long time, and it's pretty interesting, at least the ones that are not happy. Because literally, even though they're really unhappy, they don't bring up divorce. It's the weirdest thing, man. Like in their head, they're just comfortable.
Yeah,
Like my wife's not great, but she's not horrible. He's like, I could deal with that. Like, I'm okay with that.
because we're not picky. We're not whining. We're not. It is what it is, and we just roll with the punches.
Neither
There's
are
men
we.
that would
Well,
check out and just.
I'm not.
Oh well, until it becomes inconvenient.
Yeah, that's true.
Until it becomes inconvenient. What happened?
I said, I'm not picky.
I'm not.
Listen, we're meant for each other.
I know.
That's love right there.
This is amor. That's the real love right there.
That is, man. Richard was smooth with it, man.
Like a smooth operator over there.
Yeah, smooth operator.
Smooth.
That's what made me fall in love with him.
Oh, no, I can see it.
That charisma.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, when it becomes inconvenient, that's when I think, even if they're older, go, you know what? I was willing to take this bull crap for
Yeah.
this, but this is another level. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And then I found this other great younger person looking.
Oh, listen, I was talking
It's
to
paradise
I
again.
have these friends that are in like mid-50s, and I met up with them in Arizona, and I told them, so you guys are single? You're divorced and you're single, right? He says, yeah. And I said, don't give up, guys. Like, you understand? The numbers are on your side. Either some of the husbands already died. So if we start with 7 women to one male, right? Okay, as the years go by, they start getting divorced, and now we got more females. Some of the guys die earlier. So the numbers just keep increasing. Man, by the time you guys are 60, you're going to rule the elderly world. Like, you're going to have a pool of women, a plethora of women
Plethora.
out there to enjoy. It's true, because just the numbers itself, economically, it makes sense. They're going to have more women to men. You're going to end up with maybe 12 men to a girl. You know what I mean? 12 women to one guy.
Hey, and they're less picky.
Yeah, and less picky. The kid's already out, and some of them have inheritance and what is it? What do you call it? Life insurance that they claim from their ex-husband, stuff like that. Hey.
Wow, you're really thinking this through.
I'm just thinking, man. No, because you said, why is it that some men get divorced at 50 and above or older?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe they see those
I don't know
numbers.
Richard's thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just been thinking about it.
Been thinking about it.
8
Check
more
my life
years, I'll be
insurance real
55. You know what I
Make
mean?
sure my life insurance is lowered.
That sounds like a bit, man.
Yeah.
It does sound like a bit. I'm gonna save this for you.
Yeah. See it. I like this. Yeah. I think it's a good argument.
I actually have a question from somebody.
Okay. We actually have an answer.
We actually have an answer. This person wants to know, why do parents have so many kids and then blame them when they can't do something they wanted to do? Everyone has a choice, but why is it so hard for people to learn from their mistakes and they continue to have more children and then add the responsibilities onto their kids as they get older? So it's like saying, like, why are you mad at me for being here? You chose to have me and all my siblings, and now you're mad because you can't afford the lifestyle that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you mad at me? How is that my problem?
How do you help that person?
How do you help that person understand
Man, I get a chance to talk to a lot of parents. I'll leave it generic because they're new. But having children changes everything in a relationship, in a marriage. I remember seeing like the lifespan of a marriage, and the happiest time that you're going to be in your marriage is usually when you first get married. And the time where you take a huge dip is when you have the first child. It just immediately goes down the drain. And it just slowly starts going up. And around the time that the child hits 18 is when it starts to like go back up to where it used to be.
8 more years, babe. 8 more years.
8 more years, we'll be there. Hopefully we can make it, girl.
But that's just for one child.
Yeah.
You start adding more, and it's like I mean, it just makes logistical sense. Like, in order to have a marriage going, you have to spend time with them. You have to give them your energy, your time, all these things. But you also have to do that with kids, especially when they're younger. And so now you're dividing all this energy and limited time to 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So going back to this couple, like, everything was great when they had their first one, but the moment the second one came along, it just ruined everything. Marriage went down the drain because just not enough time or energy.
Right.
And so one thing I noticed, because I asked them, I've asked other people that are unhappy because they have a lot of kids, the same thing is the same answer every time. We just didn't think about it. Literally, we just know we have to have kids. Like, that's how I was raised. You have kids, you get married, you have kids. And
Right.
I'm like, well, did you plan it out? And they're like, no, you just have kids. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, that's it.
So, yeah, that made sense when you lived in the farm and you
Right.
worked with your kids all day long,
The
and that's
kids
all
worked the
you
farm.
did was work and cook and clean, and you were self-sustained. And yes, that's when you had a bunch of kids, but society changed.
Right.
Yes, you had a lot of kids when your wife stayed home. And you could afford to raise a family by yourself because there was always one parent there. Yes, you can have a lot of kids. But now times have changed. You don't have time anymore. We don't. Your wife works, you work, everybody. Those days of having a lot of kids, those days are over.
Yep.
Because what you just said, dedicating time. Me and her made a choice. We said, that's it, one. And I'm shutting down shop. Why? Because I only have time for one kid. It would be unfair for me to bring another person into this world. Now, the question she is asking is, how do I tell my parents this is not my fault? How do I
Yeah.
tell them you chose to have 6 kids, not me? Don't blame me for you having 6 kids. You're never going to teach them that lesson. The only thing you can do is understand that they didn't get it and that it's not your fault, and be empathetic to their situation, but don't take it personal. This is not you. This is not an attack on you. See it more as an empathetic situation and go, I feel bad for my parents. They made the bad choice, but I'm not going to do that choice. This is not my fault. This is their problem, and I shouldn't worry about this problem. You deal with it. I have my own life to deal with. Just learn how to be emotionally intelligent and go, that's not my
There
problem.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to deal with me.
Yeah.
And I'll deal with my problems. That's your problem.
That
That's
was
something
their
you
choice.
gotta,
Yep.
and be okay with it. Don't blame yourself. This is not, because that's really messed up for the parents to
Yeah.
even insinuate I don't get to do this because of you kids. That's the worst thing.
It's horrible.
That's not my fault.
And it happens, you know. But yeah, they have to remember, like you said, don't take it personal.
Don't take it
Right.
personal. This is not you, because I think that's what's affecting her. She feels like she's the one that messed up now.
Yes.
My dad's unhappy because of me. No, your dad's unhappy because of the mistakes he made.
Yeah.
Not you. You were not the mistake.
No, that
That's
was
it.
their mistake for
Yes.
choosing to continue.
Absolutely. You have done nothing wrong.
Get those vasectomies, guys.
Hmm?
Get those vasectomies.
Yes, get those vasectomies. It doesn't hurt a lot.
Doesn't hurt, right?
No, it-
A lot.
A lot. It does hurt afterwards. The second day, it's a little sore. And,
It's just sore, but it's not long.
No, but it gets purple, guys. That area gets really purple, and you're like, oh my God, is it going to come back? Yeah, it comes back. Everything comes back.
TMI. TMI.
I'm just saying.
Reminds me of La Mancha del Tío.
Ándale,
That
ándale.
video on TikTok from Richard.
Well, we're open to
Let's not-
sponsors if anyone wants that. Any clinics.
Yeah.
On to a more serious topic, you guys. With all the fires going on, everything that's happening in LA, now we have ICE in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I have one person here. I think it's an adult, but I mean, I think this person is showing concern for the parents. So it says, I have a lot of anxiety of what I've been hearing regarding ICE in Bakersfield. My parents are undocumented, and I live in fear every day that they'll be the ones getting deported, and I will have to find somewhere to live. I do have family and somewhere to stay, but it would be devastating for us. They've lived and worked here for 25 years, and it's been difficult trying to get their residency. Please help me find a way to cope during this time.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
That's a hard one. Yeah, it's something that I've been dealing with some of the patients.
Have you?
And yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. I feel for them. You know, one of the things I usually like to have people do is, I kind of take a two-pronged approach. The first thing I usually tell people is, I like for them to, how would I put it? I like for them to to do everything under their power that makes them feel like they're doing something. Because I think a portion that makes a situation like this is feeling powerless. And so I usually tell them, what's something that would make you feel like, hey, I'm doing something towards this issue. It could be as simple as like just looking up laws online, looking for resources, anything that just makes you feel like, okay, I'm doing something about it. I'm not just sitting around powerless. Waiting. And so anything that can make you feel like you're kind of moving forward, that you have a little bit of influence or power over the situation, I really suggest please do that. So usually identifying like what would make me feel better or what would make me feel like I'm doing something about it. So that's number one. And number two, I usually tell people, instead of trying to avoid negative emotions and feelings, there's time and place to deal with them in therapy or with trusted people. But I personally like to tell people, instead of running away from problems or negative feelings, I'd rather you run towards things that bring you joy, things that bring you connection, things that are going to help you out. Whether that's spending time with those family members that you're worried about or with friends, I'd rather you spend your time seeking out something that's positive than just simply trying to run away from negative feelings. Obviously I suggest going to therapy to talk to someone about this, but those would be the two things I usually like to tell people in this situation that I'm helping.
Wow.
But you know what? It's funny because people will open up and they'll criticize and they'll judge and go, really, 25 years and you're going to get your paperwork done? You've been here for 25 years. You can't learn the language. You can't, and it's easy for people to point the finger and say you couldn't do it. But priorities were different for them. Do you understand? And I don't know their situation, but I know this story. I've heard it before. And when I speak to people, because I ask that question, sir, you've been here for 25 years, 30 years. Why didn't you ever pick your residency? Tengo dinero. I don't have any money. I hardly know how to read.
Yeah.
I need somebody to read this paperwork for me. I need somebody to submit stuff for me. And nobody's been doing paperwork until my daughter got old enough. And now she is helping me.
Yeah.
But even then, you got to pay a lawyer. There's processing fees. There's all this. And I don't have that money. So when it comes to priorities for me right now, I go feed my family, pay my rent, pay my bills.
Okay.
And if there's anything left over, maybe if we have something left over, then I can use it for the paperwork. If not, I have to wait till next year. Yeah. And then you wait. And then the lawyer will call me back and say, there's some more fees. Well, then put a hold on to my paperwork until I get the money.
Right, something expired.
So it's easy for people to open up their mouth and say, why didn't you do this one? But you don't know their situation.
You never lived it, yeah.
The fact that they need to get a paper that tells them you can work and make a living and feed your family is horrible. Just because they're on one side of a border. They're human beings. They're just making money. They're making a living. They're not hurting anybody. But that's the situation. Now, what Irvin's saying is absolutely correct. You feel useless. You feel worthless because now there's a power that you can't control. It's not financial. You can't fix it with money. Nothing. It's going to happen. So he'll feel worthless. And so joining these groups and helping families and educating yourself is key. But not a lot of people have time either.
Yeah.
So you have to also be realistic. I don't have time to go help I have my kids. I have other problems to deal with. But this is stressing me out in the back. And I think that's where you go to therapy. That's where you go online and talk to somebody. Yeah. Like you can't leave your house. You're really busy, but just at least once a week, once a month, sit down with somebody and talk.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you don't have the means to or the time to even just talk to your friend, somebody that is close to you. Vent.
Yeah.
Man, it's helpful, man. I just started recently going back to therapy the last couple months, and for me, it's just helpful. Like I know all these techniques. I help people for a living, but just simply having someone there to sit and
like a
help,
guide.
exactly like a guide, and someone to just bounce ideas with or give me perspective that I might not be seeing. They think different than I do.
Absolutely.
And so that's useful. I don't have to necessarily go for trauma, but just simply helping me figure out these problems is really helpful. And I do everything online, telehealth, Zoom. If you can't leave because the kids are there, there's ways around it. Like you can get resources. They're out there.
Yeah. Or listen, a sport, something you do. For me, it's comedy. Yep. For me, getting on stage and just if I have a bad day with Rocio or have a bad day at work or something, I would look at the actions of the individual, put together a joke, and then just rant on stage. Don't you hate it when people do ba 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 ba? And I'm talking about that guy, and that pissed me off 2 days ago. Yeah. But that is how I let it go. That's my therapy. That's where it's really been useful for me.
Or you could do what I do and just listen to true crime.
Yeah, that or humor healing. Humor healing
This
is a great podcast
This
to
is
listen
great,
to.
yeah. But
Here's
once
the
you're done
things,
with that,
good things, good things.
just once you're done with that, just go listen to some other people's scarier things. Some people really have it like.
So you listen
They
to
died.
true crime? Man, at least I
I'm
didn't
like,
die.
wow, at least I didn't. Yeah, I didn't chop somebody's head off. Okay.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Richard, don't piss her off.
Is there an answer to that, by the way?
I don't know why we
do
like
women love true crime so much? Why are women? I mean, men like it too. I like it too, but it's not an obsession. I think women are obsessed with just like how she got away.
Well, yeah, because we want to know what to do if we are in that situation.
Yeah,
you guys daydream of killing your significant other.
We
and
don't.
that's
We
why
want to know. Like, we're constantly looking at the back seat of our car because we've heard stories. So we're like, okay, my car's good.
Yeah.
Make sure you lock the cars when you get in. Like little things like that.
What do you think, though?
I think I'm part of the answer at least. I was reading.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess depends how you look at it, but
A little bit.
men and women are different, and one of the personality difference between men and women is a trait that's called neuroticism. When you hear it, most of the time you think negative things like, oh, you're being neurotic, you're being crazy, right? Like, it's usually used as an insult. But in psychology, neuroticism means you're more sensitive to negative emotion. And so part of that deal of having that trait a little higher than men is you're constantly looking out for danger and problems. That's why women are more likely to bring up issues. So like in the Gottman method, when they were like measuring, who brings up more problems in the relationship, it's women. 85% of the times they're bringing up issues in the relationship or marriage. But that's not a bad thing. It's because they're constantly looking out for danger. Mm-hmm. Safety is a concern for women usually. And so like she literally, didn't she just finish saying like, you look in the back of the seat because, you never know, right? There's danger. So, and she said it perfectly. Like, I want to know, like, is there a way to get out of this? Is like, find out more about it. Yeah. And so I think women are drawn to stuff like that because that's one aspect.
What do you do when your car falls in the ocean?
Yeah, right.
I know what to do. Do you know what to do?
Yes, pop the window.
No.
Yes, no.
Because it depends on your car.
Oh, okay.
It depends if your car's electric or not.
Oh, okay.
Like, depends on the windows. You got to roll it up or you got to,
But if you pop the window, you're out anyways.
Listen.
Okay.
Depends how fast you fell into the ocean.
Uh-huh. All right.
You are, huh?
And how deep you are.
Yeah.
I've fallen into a big, with Ralph, we got an accident with my brother. Yeah, and that's actually happened to me.
Oh, okay.
See?
See?
Yeah, there you go.
It happened to me and I was safe by myself.
By myself.
Saved myself.
Save
There was no podcast back then.
No.
Be quiet.
I should do a podcast on that day. That's a great one.
That is
you
a
know
great
what?
one.
We weren't even chased. But see, we're not crazy. We just want to be safe and know what to do in circumstances. We're not trying to kill you.
You're being neurotic.
Why'd you bring it?
Being neurotic.
I just thought of a new
Let's
word.
talk about red flags. Let's talk about some red flags real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
If your significant other gets angry or upset every time you express a frustration or concern, if that person sees that everything you say is an attack, that's a red flag. And Richard has a great reason why.
Why do you think
Why
they
he
do
thinks
that? What do you
it's
think
why.
your wife or your husband all of a sudden, now you can't please them. Everything's wrong.
Everything you say is a bad thing. Everything is negative.
You're not perfect now, and everything you do bothers
I hate
that
when
person.
you say that. Oh, I hate when you do that. That's so annoying. Why do you do that? Why do you chew like that?
Okay. Yeah.
Why are you breathing?
Yeah, dude, it's happened.
true.
Remember
It
the lady had all those babies? Go, why are you breathing so hard? You're like, why can't you breathe?
Yeah.
like that.
Like that.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why do you
Irvin?
think that person is acting?
I mean, there's a couple reasons. I mean, first off, like, damn, that high irritability. That's crazy. Like, that's someone who can't, like, emotionally regulate themselves. Like,
No,
dude, calm
no,
down. It's
yeah.
not that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, like, anything just, like, they're just on edge all the time.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could be a couple things. I mean, one of them is that attachment I've talked about in the past, the dismissive avoidant. Those are people who, like, just have an issue with criticism. They want to have distance with you, and they're the people that are extremely sensitive because growing up, everything they did was wrong. And so they kind of internalize that. So it's weird because they do both, where they criticize their partner a lot because they don't meet their needs, or they're not doing this, or they're not doing that. But the moment their partner brings up like, oh, well, I need this, they take it so personal because they have like this trauma of like, there's something wrong with me. So whenever you start saying, hey, you're not doing this right, or you could do this better, you just touch the button for them.
Yeah.
And they freak out on you. I've seen it.
Yeah. But you don't do this and you don't do that anymore. But I don't say nothing.
Yeah. So that's like a trauma when growing up.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because trauma growing up. That's what he said.
So I mean, it could be that. I mean, that's one reason they could be like that. What was the other red flags on the list?
It was that when the person sees everything as an attack.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to say. Another thing that you can to be weary of or to watch out for in a marriage is something called a double bind. So a double bind has a fancy name, but basically it's people who, like, for example, if Rocio was telling you like we just never spend enough time together, like you never take me out on dates, right? So he criticizes you, and you're like, okay, Friday comes, you're like, hey, I got a dinner for us. I got someone to take care of Oli. Like, let's go. Why are you always spending money? Like, what are you doing?
Oh, they change it.
They change
Whip
it,
it
and
on
so
you.
they put you in this situation where you're always wrong. Like criticizing because you never take me out. I try to take you out. Well, you find another reason to criticize that. That's why it's called a double bind, because it doesn't matter what you do. You're screwed either way. And some people do that.
Yeah.
Well, why do they do that?
That seems to go along with like, well, one, these are people that are just angry and they're not happy. They need to find a reason to kind of like punch at someone. And so they're taking out their anger by putting you in a situation where you can never be right.
That's so frustrating. I would.
I've met people like that, yeah.
Now, my theory is
Yeah.
if everything was cool and all of a sudden your husband or your wife is criticizing everything you do, it's always nagging at you and telling you you don't do this, you don't do that, oh, you don't do this. They're with somebody else. And they're comparing you to that person every single moment they're with you because they need to justify the shitty thing that they're doing to you by saying, see, that's why I'm leaving him. He never does this. Look, you always do this. See, this and that. So by the time I tell you I'm out, I've justified it. Because you're not that guy. You don't do this anymore. He does this. And you don't do this, but he does that. But they're not telling you what he does.
no.
All they're doing is
They're not saying
criticizing
that
everything
part.
you are. Look at you.
Ooh.
You're a fat ass. You're this. You're
I mean,
that.
you're gonna be busy next week.
Why?
You're gonna get all these calls.
I know.
People like, I need a therapy now. We need
I
couples
think
therapy
Richard
right
hit it
now.
on the nail. Because I think that's what it is. People will start criticizing and say, see, I should have her because she's this.
In their head, yeah, they're
In
not
their
telling their
head.
spouse. They're not telling their spouse.
But they'll criticize you. Ah, look at you. Always looking messy.
so
Looking
sloppy.
like you're so sloppy. Or this and that.
Slob. Oh, always farting.
Is there any truth to that? Because that's my theory. I think once these...
Yeah, it's right. It's right. I'll say definitely. Like I said, there's so many reasons why. I'm just giving you a couple of the general ones, but that's definitely another one I've seen too, dude. I've seen when spouses are cheating, they immediately start looking at the other one with such a negative lens.
And I think women do it more than men.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think women will start criticizing the man and
We can pinpoint everything. We can look at every little detail
And criticize
find
it.
Every little thing, nook and cranny.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
so good at that.
because that makes me feel better. It justifies me leaving
Yeah.
you. It justifies me
It helps
cheating on
me,
you.
yeah,
Because
like
I
as a
feel so
woman.
guilty about this. But look, you're a piece of shit man, and you never took care of yourself, and
Look
you
what
never
you did.
helped me with the household, and you
Yeah.
never did this. Not knowing that the other guy's gonna do the same shit.
I know.
The other guy's no better than this one.
Yeah, or
It's
worse.
true.
I
Or
mean,
worse.
it's
Or
always
worse.
nice in the beginning, right?
Of course,
Everything
because
is beautiful in the
yes.
beginning because it's new. First couple months, and then you move in. Okay, still pretty nice, and then the real responsibility set in, and you gotta pay the bills and take care of the kids.
Now he wants to hug you from behind when you're paying the
Oh,
bills.
that's so cringe.
He was
So
The
cringe.
broke boyfriend.
the
That's
broke
a
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard doesn't like these things that I'm gonna mention to you.
Okay.
It's first dates, according to Tripp, the dating coach for men.
Okay.
He says these are not for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me
One
hear it.
is these are the first five first dates, okay,
Mm.
for dating: coffee and a walk,
Okay.
mini golf,
Okay.
picnic. Richard's favorite. Look at him.
Hate that.
Tapas and bistro,
Okay.
and a drink at a lounge. Which one's your least favorite, Richard?
Picnic. Why am I eating on the goddamn floor? Why am I eating on the floor? Dude, I could have ate at a table. Like, what's the I crisscross applesauce? What are we doing here?
It doesn't say you're eating on the floor. There's benches.
Then why don't we just go to a restaurant? Why do we have to eat outside? Like we could.
It's nature.
No, forget nature.
You don't have to share the space with all the other people.
No, and then I have to carry all this stuff out. I have to pack all this stuff out. There's a lot of work into a picnic when we could have spent
like
that
if
time.
you're bringing anything.
Dude, if the picnic is happening, if it's the date, I'm the one proposing the date. I would never propose a picnic. If there goes a lot, there's a lot of work involved into a picnic. Yeah. It sounds cute because you see it in the movies, but somebody already set that up for the actors. You understand? This is not romantic. You're sitting on the grass, then you have ants everywhere, and then some paisa wants to play soccer in the middle of your freaking picnic. You don't own the park. You know what I mean? And you're trying to be cute here. Food. Yes. And now, especially if you're fat, it's the worst to sit on the floor when you have nothing resting on your back. You look like a hunchback the whole time. It's horrible. So picnics are completely that's for the movies, guys.
How do you get up?
Exactly. No. Where do you leave your cup? There's no
cute.
table.
That's not cute.
You put it in the grass, it's gonna fall. You understand?
Your girl's gonna break up with you on your first date.
Exactly. You're fighting. What the fuck?
God dang, man.
See your real
Picnics are the worst. No. Picnics are the worst.
What about at the beach?
Huh?
What about at the beach?
The beach is worse. You're biting into a sandwich full of sand.
Doritos are full of
Doritos
sand.
are all sandy. Everything you touch has sand. Ugh. It's like when they say, "Oh, I made love at the beach." That's horrible. The sand goes everywhere. It's when you're, dude. Just imagine when you go swimming, it goes everywhere. Imagine when you're going at it. It's horrible. Nobody, dude. That's in the movies. That's not sexy.
Urban,
Ooh,
what do you think about picnics?
God, man, you know, rom-coms are just porn for women, man. They just give you unrealistic expectations.
It's like when I see the woman tied up. I'm like, bro, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of knots.
Time?
Yeah, I'm like, did you go, hold on, girl, keep that sexiness. Let me just tie this up. Let me just tie this up. Like what the hell?
YouTube knots to make sure like you don't do it too much?
Exactly. Like, what the hell? No, that's not romantic, dude.
No.
It's not romantic.
No.
So no picnics and no tying up people.
No tying up and no picnics.
well,
please.
Out of those 5, the one that sounds the least fun to me is probably the lounge one.
I love the lounge.
I like the drinks at the lounge.
I mean, I would do that. I'm not much of a drinker, so I think that's why it doesn't like call to me.
You can have like a mocktail.
Yeah, I mean, just a soda. I don't really care. I just want to hang out with the person. Look, I'm the complete opposite of Richard in the sense like I'm a hard introvert. Like I remember when I did the personality test, it gives you a percentage of like introvert to extrovert.
Yeah.
And Gabby was like somewhere in the middle. It's like 60-40, so a little bit more balanced. Dude, mine said like 95% introverted.
Ooh.
Like bad, dude. I'm basically.
How are you here?
Dude, I know. I'm surprised I'm here. Yeah, like I'm a freaking tortoise, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to
like us.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. I do like you guys actually a lot. That's the reason I'm here. Otherwise, I will not. Oh man, I'd rather pay people than just give them my time. Yeah, I'm selfish with time, not money. I don't care about money. Time, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm very selfish with that. But like the lounge, yeah, I would do it, I guess, in that sense. Like a picnic sounds fun, but like the practical, I'm like, yeah, that's also not that fun.
It's a hassle to drag all your food somewhere.
Yeah.
I hate that.
No.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to look good. You know what I mean? These are your first dates.
Nice. It's your first date.
No.
I mean, you said it perfectly too. Like if you're kind of like low-key a little chubby with the gut, like you're sitting down with no support, so you're like really just
just hunched over, looking like an idiot. Yeah. Like it's not the sexy look. Yeah, exactly. That's for Brad Pitt, and they already set up the picnic, and he has a 6-pack, and he's chilling.
It's all old up.
I'll go with Brad Pitt.
He's standing on his head, meditating. Like that,
I know he's doing yoga.
Yeah, he's doing yoga.
In a thong. Like what?
In a thong.
Yeah. No.
Oh, any closing thoughts, guys?
Closing thoughts.
Guys, no picnics.
No picnics. Don't do picnics.
Especially if you're fat.
No. Well, I'll say this because I saw it last week, but just being appreciative of your spouse, like it really goes a long way. Like for the guys, giving the compliments, showing gratitude, telling them thank you for stuff, even though I get it's common sense. And with guys, like it's really important to spend time with your wife. Like most women really appreciate quality time. and just someone to sit there with them when they're struggling with something. Like, you don't have to give them an answer, which honestly, it's kind of easier if you really think about it. You just sort of shut up and just go like, damn, that's hard. Just nod your head and just show you kind of
really
care.
Listen.
You know, okay. Yeah, I try to listen then. Try to listen.
Listen.
But no, I mean it though. It goes a long way because that's really not that much work, really.
No.
And so just these little things that I wish more couples would do. It's really not that hard. We just get lazy a little bit, complacent.
Yeah.
I would say get rid of a friend, get a new friend for this year.
Ooh.
Get rid of a friend. Get rid of a friend, somebody that you know shouldn't be in your life, and you have them in your life. And it could be because you feel guilty. It could be because you've been together for such a long time. There's some sort of loyalty there, but you understand that that friendship is hurting you. Like being friends with this person hurts you. Like it makes you a bad person. Yeah. You do bad things. You make bad decisions. And it's not that he or she is a bad person. Right. It's just you guys always end up doing things that you shouldn't be doing. That can be a drug addiction. That could be bad habits. That could be...
Or you're just uncomfortable.
Huh?
You're just uncomfortable.
No, you're comfortable with this person.
Okay. How do you
make bad decisions?
How does one break up with a friend?
That's the whole thing. How do you break up with a friend? Is you start distancing yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't call that person because you call them. You understand? Yeah. When they don't call you or they call you, you got to now be strong enough to make an excuse why you're not going to see them anymore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like breaking up with a girlfriend. Yeah. And you're going to let go of that relationship. And even though they haven't done anything wrong, you know that you are going to do something wrong because that's what always leads you to that wrongdoing. Mm-hmm. And I say make a new friend. Make a friend that you inspire to be like. Yeah. Somebody that's going to bring something to the table, somebody that's going to bring something that's going to make you a better person wherever you want to be in your life. Yeah. So if you're into real estate, get a real estate guru that you can help out, become a friend, and spark up a conversation. Through social media, we can reach out to anybody. Yeah. But it's a matter of you doing it. The reason you don't do it is because you're scared of rejection. Don't be scared of rejection. Be brave. Go find somebody that you inspire to be like and then shadow them. See how you could be of use to them and become part of their world. Yep. And the people that make you do crazy, fucked up shit, start separating yourself from that. And I'm just saying one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can have other bad friends. I'm saying just do it with one and you'll see how slowly you'll start making the right decision and go, yeah, you're right. Every time I hang out here with these guys, I end up doing something screwed up. Yeah. And it could be a family member. Yeah. Oof. Sometimes you have to tell that person sorry.
All right, that's my advice, guys. Person.
I know. All right, guys. Thank you very much. That is it for Humor and Healing. Thank you to all the sponsors. We'll see you guys next week. Clovis Realty. Thank you very much for sponsoring this show. Listen, sometimes it works out, so you're going to have to sell this home. Why not go to them? You're in good hands. What if it does work out and you want to buy a home? Go with them. So thank you very much for sponsoring this show. We'll leave the email. You can contact Ignacio. Tell him I sent you.
I'd like to thank the sponsors of this podcast, one of them being Weber Counseling Services. It's actually somewhere that I work. If you need any sort of mental health needs from family therapy, couples counseling, individual, or any trauma work, we are the clinic for you. We have several qualified therapists there, me included. And one of the things that I really want to specify is that we do EMDR. It's therapy used for trauma work. So if there's something that you have a hard time getting past, that's something I really highly recommend.
One of our sponsors that provides us this beautiful home where we can bring you all this information is Fairway Staffing. They allow us to come to the studio and provide you with this kind of content. So please support them if you are looking for any workforce, any employees for companies, fundraisers, whatever event you have, you need manpower, they can help you. Fairway Staffing at fairwaystaffing.com.